Hello everyone, this is FallenDice, and for those of you that remember, we are in a familiar place. The cavern has been transplanted into my new world. So we are actually ready to get started on this again. Now, in our last episode, we had completed the outside to our temple entrance, but I'm not ready to go any further in that because the plans that I have for um, the first big puzzle are very 1.5 intensive, and that's using the new redstone abilities. The amount of the distance a redstone goes depending on different variants and inputs and stuff like that. So I'll save that for when we get there. But yes, so we're just going to get started in here because what I realize is everything that I want to do in here is going to take power. And a lot of power because I need to do some more clearing out of areas. There's just a lot of things that need power. And I refuse to throw in a high voltage solar panel and call it good because that's too easy. Besides, we like bees here. So my goal has always been that I want to completely power this base with bee power. So what we're going to do is I need, first off, I mean, I could build something temporary, but then I'd have to tear it apart when the time came to put it in the real place, and I don't want to do that. So we're just going to build the real one from the beginning. So the first thing we build is going to be the piece that houses our power plant. And that's actually the main pyramid, that real big pyramid we're planning on building. So we're going to construct that. Or should I say get started on the construction of that, because this is going to take a few episodes, I imagine. It's pretty big, and then the inside of what we're going to be doing. But before we do that, I figured I would show you some of what some of the cavern. So first off, the main cavern still looks the same. You can see we still have our red sunset because of our age. Somehow that's still made it in. But considering that we manufacture wither skeletons on a daily basis and other things, I guess that one was acceptable. And iron blocks, we have chests full of those. So, um, well, I'll leave that there unless people really have an issue with that. This is probably going to get moved because I want to put this above the center of my temple, and then I'm going to have like a better looking elevator coming up the center of it for now. Um, let's see. Also, the outside. The way this was put in is Acatera using MC Edit put a box around the cavern that basically started probably at that level right there, that dirt level. And then to the edges, and if you look on some of the edges, well, we can't see it up here, but some of them there's like an actual stone wall now where I lost part of the outside edges. But that's fine because I'm going to be going through here with fillers on the outside and widening this because it needs to get bigger than I had initially thought. And I was actually almost ready to start doing that when we did the server move. So that's just the next step. So I didn't mind that. But when this was done, obviously, as you see the edges going down, we were left with a pocket underground. Because remember, this was all one height. So we had ended up with, like I said, a pocket. So we're going to open this up. And to me, it's almost like a land before time. Or a lost world. Let's go ahead and open it up so we can take a peek. So you can see this was the surface of the old cavern. And of course now when we made the box, it made this really cool. I haven't. Man, this sword should be doing so much more damage. I don't get it. Sharpness 5. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, we ended up with this really cool kind of Lost World feature. And what's even cooler is we'll head over this way. Hopefully we don't have any creepers exploding as I go over them. The areas outside where there was this ocean kind of made this really cool pirate cove sort of thing, which also is really cool. Right here. So you can see, let me throw hover on. Get this, lake up here, and then it has an entrance out here to the outside of my real world. So at some point, am going to be able to do, I think, some really cool stuff with this feature here. Maybe we'll come up with another way of finding the temple once we get more of the temple completed. But yeah, that just looks so cool. And obviously, look at the straight wall, so I can go through and I'll maybe when time comes, I'll fix it. The repeaters is just MC Edit having some issue with whatever block it was that was there when it was transferring the world. So there's a few places that have those. There's also a few places with like some uh, nether brick fence posts in place of bushes or rail tracks. And I think that was just having to do with item ID numbers and stuff like that. But yes, we are here. So it's time first of all to get some materials. Because one of the things I'm planning on doing is we're going to start on at least the base, the outside of our pyramid. You can see the outside over there. It's just a real cool feature, I think, how this is. And I think with the mining laser on explosive, I can round it off and make it look a little more rough, so it'll actually look like a nice natural cavern in there. So, but anyway, yep. So like I said, we're gonna go. I'm gonna grab me some materials and get set, and then we're gonna go in, mark off where we want to put our temple, and get our pyramid, and get started on that right now. Initially, my original plan, you can see I still have the block set up from when I was trying to plan it out. When I had made this area here, and I decided this was going to be the size of my city, I had realized that I had to reduce the size of my pyramid to fit it. So this was going to be the edges of the pyramid was this little inside box here. And I was talking to RenEvo, and he agreed with me that, that kind of sucks, do it the way it's supposed to be. Make, for all the work that I put into it to shrink it and just make it less epic was almost a crime. So that means that to actually make it the proper size, our pyramid became these sets of blocks. There to there, all the way over to there and to there. So much larger pyramid. Now, I don't know, for some reason I always just kind of pictured I was going to be working from here and the town was going that way. But when I looked up top here recently, this direction here is a lot taller for a lot longer, which means I have to do a lot less work with filling for higher levels to get it to make what I want. So instead of working it this way, I think we're going to change it to go this way. So I'm going to kind of find the center of this, make that the center of my temple pyramid. I keep calling it a temple, but it really is a pyramid. And then I'm going to mark it out. That's right here, looks to be good. So this will be the center of our pyramid. Oh, I put it right over a light block. Move it one. Okay, there we go. I think this is good. Alright, cool. Now the temple is going to be 84 wide and 72 deep. And then the top of the pyramid is going to be, I think, almost like 36 blocks high. And then on top of that is going to be two little buildings, which each are going to be about 18 more blocks high. So we're looking all together 54, almost 55 blocks tall. So this is going to be a rather large pyramid. Definitely going to be slightly epic in size. So actually, I think I need to go further this way, to be honest, because I'm going to do a little figuring myself off camera, because this is the pyramid is as far as this build or the city goes this direction. So technically, as long as it doesn't hit this roof here, we can probably start it about here. It's going to give us some space back there. So yeah, let me do some working out of some numbers here, and I will be back shortly. All right, so here is the area marked out of how big this is going to be. So again, this is 84 wide, 72 deep, and that is the base of our pyramid. And it doesn't look as impressive right now, but once it gets up there and then we have the stairs coming down, it's pretty big. And then considering that it'll be another pyramid over there, another one over there, big feature here. There's going to be a lot more stuff going in here. There's a lot of clearing out to do. But this is where we're going to house our power plant, as well as the entrance area, access to the portal room, and a lot of other stuff. So this is going to be multiple layers of things, and it should be pretty cool once it's all said and done. We're going to construct this with 3 blocks. Sandstone blocks, sandstone cover slabs, and sandstone triple covers. And we're using that to give us the slope that we want for this. Because I've seen people do pyramids before in Minecraft, but having the ability, I gotta get rid of this, having the ability to use these micro blocks to get a better looking slope, I think is going to be, I can't wait to see it all the way completed. But here's how we're going to do it. So each layer is going to be 3 blocks high. So what we're going to do is we'll go up here to 3. And, oops, that's right, I'm not in creative anymore, so I can only go 2 high. So we'll end up going all the way across here like this. And I'm only going to do a short section here just to kind of show you how this is going to turn out. And then I'll go ahead and do the rest of this part off camera. But this first part will be enough to show you how it's going to look. And the best part is because we're using the micro blocks, we can do corners and edges. So we're going to actually be able to make this turn corners, which we weren't able to do before, which I'm really excited about. So I'll even show how that works. And what's funny is I'm showing you on the corner that's not actually even going to be a corner the way the other ones are. This is going to be tore out to add in some pillars and a room on this side and that side. But that's for another day, another time. For now, we're just going to get the basic pyramid. And the other part of this is it kind of slopes in as well. But again, this is just to show you how this all is going to work. So, actually, let me do this right now so I can get a couple of those. I only need a couple for now. I mean, later, obviously, I'm going to need a lot more. And the same thing, 4 of those. Okay. Let's get rid of you and you. We'll bring in our sandstone cover slab and our triple cover. Now, this first layer, and get my saw back. First layer is the full block. The second one is the cover slab. And I played around with all types of different sizes. I could make it be perfect if I went 4 high. But unfortunately, by going 4 high, it had a huge negative effect on the pyramid. It was too tall. And I needed it, and not too tall, it was too narrow. And the problem is the stairway. It goes from the top all the way to the bottom. But if you see how this is, you know, we're going up 3 blocks per layer, whereas a stair only goes 1. So at the top it's going to be even, at the bottom it's going to be coming out a ways, and the narrower this got by making this go 4 high, it was even an extra farther out here. So I already have to kind of do a little looking at how it's going to be when I get to that point anyway, because I'm still not completely satisfied with how the finished part of this is going to look. But, oops, come on, I don't want you guys. I need to get you out of my inventory. Yes. But this, while it's not perfect, it actually looks the closest to being perfect as you repeat it up the face of our pyramid. So once we get up to this height, And we'll go ahead and throw our corner in again just to continue showing this as we go up. You can see we got a very steep incline, but actually technically you could still climb up it if you wanted to. And then at the very top, I shouldn't say the very top, when the next layer starts, we once again bring in a full block. And at the next layer, it starts all over again with our cover slab. But as you can see, it gets a very steep looking incline up. There's going to be 4 distinct layers. Each layer is going to be 9 blocks tall. It's going to go in 2 full blocks and then do another 9, 2 full silver, another 9, and so until we get all the way to the top. So that is how this is going to be. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to build the first layer of 9, and then I'll come back once we get that done and we take our first step inward. All right, so the first 9 levels of our wall are completed here. You can see that I actually went ahead and did the indent that happens on the 2 corners. This is actually part of the actual design, and there is going to be like a room that's set up over here, but I will add that in later after the rest of the pyramid is put up all the way. You can see on the outside that it is lit, and we were able to do that by placing the torches here. And since these are micro blocks, they are transparent and the light goes through it. Up here is where our next floor goes, and this is where we're supposed to have solid blocks, but I wanted it to be lit. So what I'm planning on doing is this. I'm going to run those all the way up, and we'll just use micro blocks to mimic our first block. But because they are micro blocks and transparent, it'll keep this whole area here lit. And this is the first area that would actually be spawnable ground. There's 2 full blocks, so if it wasn't lit, we'd have issues with that. Now down there are spots that seem to end up spawning mobs, and I keep seeing them here and there, and honestly I'm okay with that. I don't need a complete static area because I think it's kind of cool that in some of these areas, you know, we're going to have some mobs, and you know, you'd almost expect that in a you know, lost, abandoned, you know, ruins and things like that. So I'll leave that to still kind of happen here and there. We'll just have to be on our toes when we're in here. I definitely hope we don't have our day ruined by creepers. But anyway, so yeah, so that's how this area here is going to go. And then once this is put in, we're just going to repeat this whole setup here. So this is going to be block 1 of the next 9 that are heading up, and it's going to be 4 of these layers high. So like I said, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 high. So it's going to be 36 blocks that to get all the way to the top of the platform here. And then at the platform, we'll build our 2 buildings at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and do this again off camera, just because it's rather boring to watch someone do all this. But I will be back shortly, and then we'll get on maybe putting in some of the floors and start kind of figuring out what we want to do in here, because there's like I said, this is going to be the power plant area, the bee harvesting area. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on in here, so there's going to be a lot of planning to do. So I will see you guys shortly. All right, so a bit of an update. So we're here inside, and this is the actual height that we're going to be at. Floor level is going to be up there. So this is pyramid number 1. I've only done the micro blocks on this first level here. So all up there, I was kind of doing that to make sure I had the right height for everything. But, yep, that is going to be the height of the walls, or at least for the first part of the walls. So we'll start. Uh-oh, I think yep. My boots have run out. So we'll just do the next best thing. Throw on the old jetpack, and then we'll come up that way. Alright, let me make sure we got hover mode on. Alrighty. And this is the height that we're at up here. And like I said, up here in the back, there's going to be 2 more tall buildings. And again, this is all based on drawings and stuff of the actual city, which I am horrible at pronouncing. Let me see if we can remember what it is. I got like an entire folder of pictures and things like that. I don't know if any of them have the name on it. Probably not. But let me look this up real fast. All right, we'll try this. Tenochtitlan. I think this is about as close as I'm going to get to this. But this is the capital of the Aztecs up to the point when the Spanish came into the New World and basically conquered them and ended any further, not expansion, but get improvements of their cities and stuff. This was the culmination of the Aztecs. So I'm building the entire city, but we're doing it underground. So it's somewhat, I want it to be fairly historically accurate to the style and design of the city. And obviously, the stuff I'm putting into it wasn't actually there. But that's the look of it. So I have lots of pictures, screenshots, videos, things like that to kind of go off of to help me in my designing and planning. But this is definitely the first part. So, something else that I got to tweak a little bit here. This section here, because right now I have it all going up identical, but in pretty much everything I've looked at, I've got to try and find a way to have it get smaller as it goes up to the point that when it gets all the way to the top, it's almost a complete horizontal. And I still got to put some covers and stuff in there. But instead of the L here, it's almost going to be a straight curved off. So that's my next thing. What I think I can do, because we're at 5 at the bottom, so if I shaved off 1 block here, 4, 3, 2, let me see. Again, I'm trying to look at my screenshots of, that's not what I want. All right, let me look at this a little bit. Let me do some planning, and I'll come back and we'll do this part on camera just because of the changing of the design of it. But anyways, I'll be back shortly. All right, so it looks like this is working out. The problem I had was I kept trying to place these sandstone cover slabs in front of the full blocks when I wasn't quite supposed to yet. So I kept trying to stick it back out here. And that was the problem. So basically, now for most of these, I got like a 1, 2, and almost a half lip. When I get here, I'm going to just the 1.5. So I'm losing one of those spots in there. And technically, I probably almost should be, now that I think about it, that's coming back and looking at it, actually, this should be where I should be going. Yeah, because remember, we wanted to almost go straight up on this corner here. Okay. Well, no, that's how coming back sometimes is good because then you notice something that you might have missed that first time through. So that's good. Oops, get rid of you. Alright, so that goes there. And that's going to help me very good on these corners here. So inside the corners, it's almost going to be a continuation straight up. In fact, it actually is. So the outside, we're going to do on both over there, but on the inside, which means we're going to be doing the same thing here. So I've got to get rid of this part here that I did. But, a good thing, too, is I discovered this before I completely completed this. you know, and then had to come back and redo that whole section all the way again. All right, so you're still the same, 2.5, and then this is going to be my slab covers here, and then as well like this. And the one thing I've discovered is these corners, I can't quite make this inside corner work just right. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting one like that, and there, and there, and it looks better going up than any other thing I was able to come up with. But there we go. So now the inside is doing a straight up all the way to the top, which is going to reduce the size of this corner at the top, and then the rest of the pyramid on the outside will continue at its normal shape and size. Cool. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and I'm going to completely encase the outside now with the micro blocks to get our full pyramid shape on the outside. And then we'll come back and we'll take a peek at it. So I realized that this giant section of the front wasn't really worth covering because it was going to be a big giant stairway in front of it. So I actually stopped the covering part that I was doing and decided to kind of get this area set up. So this is the beginnings of it. The got 3 block here, and then those same 3 blocks here and here and there, and then the stairs are going to go recessed into here and here, heading up it. So from the outside here, it's kind of the view that we get of it. It's pretty steep, pretty long. But I think once everything's all said and done, it should look pretty good. Luckily, we have a lot of different textures to pick from for sandstone. It would be nicer to go with with something different, but again, trying to stick with the real one. Although there is a few changes I'll have to make once I get the main stairs done, having to do with a little bit towards the top. But we'll like a lot of this project, I'm getting the basic outlines done, and then I'll go in at different points once I get the basics, and then tweak it, and then start adjusting it, kind of like what we did over here. Eat real fast so I can show you. But the corner turned out pretty good. So you can see it now. I got a mob up there. But it starts out pretty big down here at the bottom, and towards the top it narrows down. So I think that looks pretty good. And this is the 4 tiers. You can see how that looks now. And the same with over here. I only got that far so far going around. But you can see it's definitely coming along. The only thing that's going to kind of suck is these lighting glitches in different areas. But, maybe it kind of makes it look like it's old and getting dirty in certain areas or something like that. But anyway, figured I would show you this in progress. Kind of right now I'm going through and putting the other side. I'll leave this main middle part pretty much hollow. Save on time and blocks. But, it's still a bit of work. So anyway, back to work, and I'll see you guys when I have another update. Alright, update time again. I now have the front completed. At least this first half part. Again, you can see I haven't done the slope on the left there. But we'll come all the way over here. And my boots must be dead again. Or I'm just not hitting the right button. And got it done on this side as well here. Added in the steps. I really wish I could go with some of like the smooth stone or the stone brick or stuff like that because of the texture. But I don't think it really fits in with the theme of how this is supposed to look. But anyway, we are definitely coming along. But man, I have to go a long ways this way now. I have so much digging out to do because there's going to be 2 more pyramids over here and over there, and then that width is the same length all the way down that way. So yeah, I got quite a bit of work to do, but it's definitely coming along. Now, the next thing in here, it's kind of just a temporary to get me inside of here. Probably going to go through and I'm going to use the covers to cover up where all the torches are. But I'm figuring we can go with the floor. Each one of these is going to be a floor. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, it's so tall. I don't need it to be that tall, though. I have to think about how large I really want this to be. Like how tall the ceilings are and stuff. Because the shorter the ceilings, the more floors I can fit in and the more stuff I can get into here. And another thing, too, to consider is if I want to put any mob drops for any of our grinders. Because, you know, we got the soul shards, so I'm definitely tall enough that I could put in some XP grinders in here. Wouldn't have to go to town, get the level 5s, and I could actually grind experience out here as well. So I'm thinking probably in the middle, something along that in the middle, in addition to the elevator going up, and in addition to the bees and the generators and the power. It's gonna be a lot of stuff in this building. All right. Well, that's the update. I think I'm gonna get back to doing the outside. And then we'll come in here, and I'll figure out exactly what I want to do for the floors. I think that's the next thing we'll do. I'm thinking at least 4 high, and then maybe some extra distance between the floors so we can invisibly run power and things. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the ceiling. That's empty, and that's the floor for the next level. So it'll be 3 blocks between each floor. Yeah, I can do that. That'll work. That'll give me 4 full floors. And then, you know, we'll do something along the outside, put walls in, and then a middle center going up to the top. Okay, that'll work. But anyway, so I'm going to get back. I want to knock out the rest of the siding on this before we start getting to that part of it. So anyway, I will see you guys shortly. All right, so the outside of the pyramid is now complete. Stupid floating. Interesting too is how it just fits inside of the shape of the cavern over here, which is kind of cool. And then it ends up down here. So this definitely will be the back of the cavern, so I don't have to do any work over here. Just lots of work that way, and a ton of work that way. But that is the first part of our pyramid complete. And I think it looks pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot. Trying to think what I want to still do this episode. Because obviously we're not going to be able to get into any high-tech stuff quite yet. But I think what I'm going to do first, let's go up top here. I want to complete some floors up in here. That's the first thing I want to do. I need to do the ceiling. So the ceiling up here, we'll cap this off. Plan out where we're the bases of our other buildings. Down here and down there are 2 offshoots, which are actually going to be the entrances into the pyramid. Still need to do those. And at the bottom, I need to make a platform. Because this is technically ground level. Well, what is going to be ground level? There's actually a whole layer below this. I can show you that real fast here. But this is going to be ground level, but ground level isn't really ground level. Especially for these ones. You can see there's bedrock there. So what I need to do is I need to make a platform. It's probably going to go up to almost here. So when we come in, we'll get down, and then it'll be like a step down into the pyramid. But we're probably going to make the platform at least 2, maybe 3 high, and it's going to go out to probably about here, take 2 more steps down to this level here, and then go all the way over there, and the building that's going to go next to this and the other pyramid up there, and the same thing, the building next to this and the other pyramid up there will also be on this platform. So it's kind of part of the planning of what I have to do. The reason I'm not doing it quite yet is because I haven't opened up this side of the cavern and that side of the cavern yet. So for now, I just have the pyramid itself built, so I can go inside and start, working on some of the technology and things we're going to put in there. But I think what I'm going to do, we're going to go up to the roof, cap it off. I'm going to put in the floors on the inside, and then we're going to come out and we're going to build our 2 entrances on either side, and that should be a good episode. So let me take care of that up there first, and I will be right back. All right, so things are looking a bit better. I started using a filler to try and speed up this process and some of our other processes. You are not allowed to be there. And using the redstone energy cells, but I didn't have a way of filling them up without going back to town. And a lot of the stuff we got to do, I'm going to need some power right off the bat, and I don't want to cheat. This place is B-powered, and it's going to be B-powered from the start. So I went to town and did a little gathering of resources. So I've got some magmatic engines, some geothermal generators, just the start. There's going to be an awful lot more than these. Some squeezers, because I've already got a backstock of phosphor from my training my ender bees to begin with. So we're going to set up a way to pump all those things in here, turn it into lava, send it over to here. The magmatic engine is going to give us Minecraft jewels we're going to put into my redstone energy cells I already have. The geothermal is going to go over here to an MFSU to store up all the power. So we'll have a nice storage area of power here for use of whatever we need. Now, the way I have it figured out is this is going to be the entrance here. I don't know yet what I'll do down here, but I don't want to put it here. I'm thinking here. Because there's the ceiling and the floor, ceiling, floor, ceiling, floor. We're going to have 5 floors in this thing. So I'm figuring this would be a good... I can put it in here for now. And I see I've also got plenty of room for running pipes and things between floors. So that'll be nice. But, yeah. So we're going to set this thing up here. Iron tank to store all of our lava once it's converted from our phosphor. Pumped into our engines and our geothermal generator, and we should be good to go for power for now. So I'm thinking that's what we're gonna end our episode on that here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing set up real quick, kind of show you the beginnings of what our power is gonna be, and then we'll go ahead and call this one an episode. And in our next one, we'll get back to the cavern here. So let me go ahead and set this up real fast. I'm not gonna actually walk us through the whole setup because this, not really that complicated. We haven't got to that point yet. But I will set it up and then I'll show you what we have once I got it done. Alright, so we're actually in production already. About to turn the switch to go into full self-sufficient mode. So here's what I did. And again, this is temporary. Does not look anywhere near what I would like it to look like, first of all. And nowhere near big enough. This is nothing. The amount of stuff I'm going to have in here when I'm ready to go is going to be somewhat on the scale of ridiculous. But here we go. So these automatically were getting power from my redstone energy cells, which I had powered up for my fillers. So putting that in, filled this completely up using 14 phosphor and 7 cobblestone, so it runs fairly well. I have 8 of these going, so right now they're all full. I just need to put my gates on, and they will start filling up our iron tank there. So let's see. We're just going to do liquid in tank. Yeah, that's a long ways to go to get there. Has work. You know, that works too. Let's see, does it do that? I'm curious. Nope, okay. Man. Either which way. I mean, okay, I just have to page through a bunch of stuff. Sometimes I wish there was just a way to get to some of the later ones quicker, but I'm only doing it once and then I'm done. So it's not a big deal. For this next part, you see I've got 5 outputs there, and that's because when I was playing around in creative to see, whether this was going to work the way I was envisioning it, one of the things I noticed was one redstone or one Antarctic gate on the output was definitely not enough to pump enough to keep all my magmatic engines running. So we just decided to go a little over the top so that we have more than enough to make sure, because we're going to be powering both those and the geothermals as well. All right, I'm going to take. Got it. So that should be filling up nicely now. And in addition, we look over here, these will stay full. And as long as it's going, these should start to warm up as well. It's one of the things about these engines is they're like the wooden engines for Buildcraft, and that the longer they're on, the more power they put out. If you look here, this is not your average iron waterproof pipe. You see the gold color in there. This is a Burpmod edition, and it's a golden iron waterproof tank. So that way, when we're pumping things out, we don't have to deal with the slowness of an iron pipe going into a golden pipe. So, she looks like she's moving pretty good. All right. Now the next step in this is going to be dig a hole and float so I can get that middle one. I may have to take out one more. Alright. There we go. Oh, come on. Well, at least I can get it from down here anyway. Liquid in tank. We're going to send our pulsar. Okay, good. Now the other ones I should be able to reach from outside, so I won't have to actually hover anymore. Alright, liquid in tank pulse. And this is going to fill up all of our stuff on the outside here, which I haven't turned on yet. Oh, I have. Okay. Looks like we're already powering. Hopefully I can turn that off. I didn't realize I turned them on when I first installed them, but I'll take a peek at that. And I'm going to cover this up. It's not going to be like this. I'm probably going to use like stairs or something. But let's see. Can I turn you off? Yes, I can. Okay, good. So right now, these are pumping 4 Minecraft joules a tick. And slowly this should start getting some lava here shortly. Like I said, that was one of the things that I was saying before, needing to have enough. And what I may end up having to do is run a separate pipe to this row and a separate pipe to this row so we don't have the one golden pipe feeding all of them. Because I think after a while it eventually will fill up. Because this one's getting there. So it's just being slow. But let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 12. So it's right now I'm getting 48 Minecraft joules a tick off my engines here, and they're filling up all of these. And I have these set in a series. So you can see it hits this first one, and this is the one that's filling up right now. Got input into here, output, input, output, input. So these are all drawing power off of this one. And it takes the power from here, which takes the power from here, and then it fills up. So it's kind of, I've got a bit of a buffer, since you only have so much power you can put into these. Eventually, I'm going to do this on a grander scale. That's for as far as the power for my base. We'll be using a setup like that pretty nicely. Now over here, you can see, I'm going to need some different piping. Maybe I'll do half of it coming to here, half of it going to there, because we're just not getting enough going through. But we're starting to fill up our MFSU, and that's what we'll use to feed our Minecraft, or I mean our IC2 stuff. So it's a little slow getting started. And again, this is only temporary for small uses. My final one is going to be quite epic, and I'll probably be feeding 10 to 20 MFSUs to use those as my battery backup. But that is obviously for a later time. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Oh, and actually one more thing. These will be covered up with facades, so you won't see that. I just left it here so you kind of see how it's being routed right now. So, but yes. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.